folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Don, this is Rockin' the Country. Terry Wood, who's up in Canada, he's a Canuck, made a gift to the channel for me to do this reaction. And Terry also sent me this hat with a couple other hats from Canada too. So I love wearing these hats. I'm here in Jersey, as you can tell by the thing. But this is a gift request of Scott Shaun White with Helene Cronin. The song is titled People. And this is what Terry said in the email. He said, I just watched Bree Bagwell's latest Only Vans podcast. And I mean, the timing of this is so coincidental because I just did a Bree Bagwell reaction this morning. So on the podcast, her guest is Scott Shaun White. Scott is a Texas singer-songwriter. In the course of the podcast, they were talking about this song and specifically about this lyric video that was done by Helene Cronin, a co-writer with Scott on this song. I was really taken by it, and I'm curious to hear your take on it. So let's get my take on it, shall we? I love this stuff. You followed the rabbit trail, Terry.
Fragile as a dandelion weed, strong as skyscraper steel, scraped up from the dust of the earth, shaped like clay on the potter's wheel. We got roots that go back generations and dreams that stretch for miles, and you can see them all in great-granddaddy's Polaroid gap-tooth smile.
Yeah.
We're storytellers and ocean crossers, belly laughers, baby makers, and moonwalkers. So many kinds of different, so many ways to sing. We love, we hate, we complicate, put all our crazy on parade.
I got a comment. You hear the backing in this? If that's Helene Cronin, whomever it is, backing vocalists add such a texture to a song. It's beyond. Once I noticed this a couple of years ago, that when they're not there in a song, it's like, God, there could be texture added here. You don't always need them, of course. But I don't know if you could pick up on this. I've got headphones on, and it's very faint, but it adds a people-oriented texture, which is appropriate to the song.
Such a mess, but so beautiful. People. Always wanting more than what we got, but scared to let go of what we have.
Ew.
All running down a road that won't make sense till we're there looking back. Born to stand out in a crowd, dying to fit in, trying to change the world before the world spins round again.
Yeah.
We're storytellers and ocean crossers, belly laughers, baby makers, and moonwalkers. So many kinds of different, so many ways to sing. We love, we hate, we complicate, put all our crazy on parade. Such a mess, but so beautiful. People.
Nice fiddle.
We're shower singers, love letter writers, barefoot dancers, kitchen kissers, and drunk dialers. So many kinds of different, so many ways to sing. We love, we hate, we complicate, put all our crazy on parade. Such a mess, but so beautiful. Yeah, we're a mess, But ain't we beautiful people? People.
It's a great helmet. So many thoughts on a wide-ranging topic like that. The first of which is, what gets left on the cutting room floor? That is not an easy song to write because it is so expansive. When you want to capture those, not just slivers, those are micro slivers of life, like kitchen kissers or shower dancers, but they're outside in the rain showers, not in the, no, not shower singers. Yeah. So not like in the shower inside the house, rain shower singers. That was a nice little touch twist thingy there. We love, we hate. What was the next part of it? Like our craziness on parade or something like that. And that is it. I mean, life is so dynamic, is so expansive, but we're socially oriented. So our greatest joys and our greatest pains, it's rare that I use the word always, and it may not even be right. 99.999% of the time involves other people. Think back to your greatest joys in life. Think back to your greatest disappointments, sadness, heartbreak, whatever. It always involves someone else. It could be your parents. It could be your lover. It could be your siblings. It could be lost friendships. It could be whatever. It could be somebody passing away too young. No matter what goes on, but your greatest joys, hanging out with a buddy, you go to a ball game and you're doing well and you bro hug or you high fiving and all fist bumping. It's always with someone else. I got a buddy coming over today to watch the beginning of the Big Ten tournament. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm not even expecting great things out of my team because this is not a good year for us. But my buddy's coming over to share him, and I'm expecting to be the misery. So at least we could co-miserate. But this song, the way it was sung, I really like the instrumentation on this. I mean, this is maybe the first time I've ever said this, but it reminded me of Steely Dan, not in the sense of tempo or such, but the musicians knew what they were doing. It was very well produced, which was one of the hallmarks of Steely Dan. They had tremendous producers. They were studio musicians who wound up going large. In this video, it was like the production, it was spot on for the way Scott and Helene sang the song. And it wasn't a duet, but there were two vocalists on it. Helene was backing on this, and it was very, very, there's so much talent out there. Just so much talent that you don't hear of. But the way they sang it, I like, we're storytellers and ocean crossers. That was my biggest challenge in trying to figure that one out. Not that you could. I mean, I could always make commentary on any collection of words, but that was disjointed in ways. I was trying to see what the thread was there because, of course, storytellers, when you're a songwriter, you are that. People, we are wired for story. It's why we watch TV and movies and read books and listen to songs, because we want to hear stories. We're basically wired for it. And I'm partial to true stories. I'm partial to things that make me think. You guys who follow the channel know that. But the ocean crossers, to follow up on that, and then you got the spacewalk, and then the kid with the helmet, it's all about the regeneration of life as well, because little kid, first they showed the image of the guy in spacewalking, the actual astronaut spacewalking, and which was impressive footage, by the way. And then a kid in like the helmet just sort of like dreaming in that unbridled way. And that made me think how kids in their imagination are able to enjoy the heck out of their thoughts because there's no risk that they're actually going to do it. later on in life, when you acquire skills and knowledge and relationships, and maybe in an occupation in which you might actually do something that is that dangerous, then you're like, my God, do I really want to do this? As a kid, there's no threat that you're going to do that. You can dream about it, and all you're thinking about is the wonderful part of floating in space or going out in outer space. But then when it comes down to it and you realize that there's a risk to doing it, you wonder if you could do it. So kids do have that unbridled joy because they're not thinking about the downside of it. And how much fun is that? That's why you could see kids with these monster smiles on their faces when they're just playing, or their little girl with their sort of like twirling, and it's a beautiful part to life. They're in the cocoon of their parents' safety, and they're feeding them and go to bed, and they've got their own room and whatever they get to experience the safety of life in that as their parents are nurturing them along. Yeah, Terry. No, it was just beautiful. I mean, there wasn't a moment in that where it felt like sandpaper, right? That's the best way I could put it right now. Everything was like clear and seamless. Like, if I had to pick an image right now, it would be a lake in Washington State that when my ex and I, went to Washington State, once, twice, whatever we did. We spent some time up there, and the lakes were so clear. They were mountain runoff. I don't know if it was Crescent Lake. I mean, you look down and you could see the bottom, and then somebody comes along and tells you that that's like 80 feet deep, 100 feet deep, and it looks like it's just right there. That's kind of the way I felt listening to this song. Scott sang it. He didn't just talk it. He sang the lyrics, but it was shot well, and Helene did a nice job picking out the images. Initially, it looked like, I think that the establishing shot was in the park on that path, and then an elderly couple went walking, and the elderly lady was wearing like her boots, and I thought she was Russian. I had that sense that looks like Russian garb that you might wear in the springtime in Novosibirsk or something like this. But all right, Terry, I'm going to rate this. Of course, you wanted to see my thoughts on this, and I'm honored and thankful because I love talking about people, not negatively, because people is what life is about. The dynamics, the psychosocial, psychological, sociological, the philosophical, the theological, all of it. And as a life coach, of course, I look at all this and I'm like, oh yeah, you see the baby being born? We're baby makers, as the lyrics said. But then, we grow old and we die. And was it Emerson or Frost? I think it was Frost who said, I can sum up in 3 words what I've learned about life. It goes on. And man, is there a mouthful in that. All right, the number that popped into my head on this production was a 9.5. And I just have a sense like I don't even need to take a shower today. Like I was just cleansed. I will take a shower, by the way, but it just feels like I just had like this cleansing effect. That was just like that show we watched when we were kids, Davy and Goliath. I mean, it was just clean and beautiful. All right, Terry, thank you for that, my friend. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.